Arizona State hockey is continuing to heat things up in its inaugural season in the NCHC, the inaugural season in the SEC of college hockey. We'll have more on their playoff bubble picture.
And the Big 12 struggles continue for Arizona State, riding a 4-game losing streak. We'll take you in on what some of those struggles look like on the hardwood as Arizona State gets set to take on TCU on Saturday.
Megan Bartlett and Arizona State softball are in full swing. The Littlewood Classic kicked off last night. Sun Devils came away with a big upset win over number 21 Oregon. All that and more on Cronkite Sports Live. Hey, Justin, knock knock.
Who's there?
Not your Valentine. Not your Valentine. But hey, welcome back inside Studio 6 for another edition of Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Gabby Chernoff. He's Justin Lacertosa. And hey, don't worry, I hear you're not the only Justin in the vicinity that's having some troubles in the love department. Shout out to our director, Justin Carter, who I hear is having some girl troubles of his own.
Yeah, neither of the Justins really doing much of anything tonight after this show, and that's probably why we're here in the first place, right? But all jokes aside, my anchor debut, I'm excited to get going.
Yeah, excited to be up here with you for your anchor debut. We'll get things started with a winter sport in Arizona State hockey. They're in their final stretch of the regular season, and they just took on the defending national champions, number 6 team in the country, Denver, who they swept back in November at their place. So first period, just about 2 minutes in, Kyle Smolin gets the juicy rebound, puts the Sun Devils up 1-0. But hey, Denver with a very quick response here. It's Sam Harris who will get set up on the back door, taps that one home, and we're deadlocked at 1. That would be the score heading into the second period. A tie as we head into the second frame here. Lucas Sillinger with a nice defensive play right at the line, in alone on Davis, moving in, shot, and he scores on the breakaway, making it look easy for the graduate forward there. And then Denver, hey, they're not going down without a fight. Don't let the defending champs get set up in the zone. A funny bounce in the slot, and Sam Harris again puts it 5-hole. Hey, guess who it's going to be here in another second? Probably not a great idea to leave the guy who already has 2 goals alone in the high slot, prime scoring position. He gets another one. That's a hat trick for Sam Harris. So the Pioneers a 3-2 lead heading into the third period. Keep your eye on this puck here. It's loose in the face-off dot, and then Ryan Kerwin just throws it on net, and bang, we're tied at 3 once again in this tie game. But Denver with the rally back. The no-look backhand from the bottom of the circle by Aiden Thompson, who notched the game winner on Friday night just the day before. And then another quick one here by Kieran Sebrion for the Pioneers. A 5-3 lead for Denver just about halfway through the final frame. But hey, you remember this guy? It's Lucas Sillinger from the high slot. He puts it past Davis, and 5-4 as the Sun Devils make a final push. This puck is loose out in front. Referee waves it off, says no goal, and then they take another look back at it, and Mullet Arena is sent into a frenzy. The game-tying goal is said to be good. It did cross the goal line, so here we go in overtime. It'll be Bennett Shimmick. Watch this, a full 200-foot play, coast to coast, splits the D, and then goes 5-hole on Davis. Sun Devils ice this one against the defending champs 6-5 in overtime, 13th in the pairwise because of it, but Greg Powers and his squad think they deserve to be ranked maybe a little higher.
I definitely feel like we're not the 13th ranked team. I feel like we have a top 6, 7 team. There's no doubt in my mind, and there's no reason why we can't finish there. We have 6 games left plus playoffs. And again, if we play like we did tonight, we will finish there.
Anyone could put a number on it, but at the end of the day, we think we're one of the best teams in the country, if not one of the best, if not the best team in the country. Every time we step on the ice, and that's our attitude every game. And we believe we could beat anybody at any moment as long as we're doing the right things and we're playing to our standard.
Arizona State with just 6 games left in the regular season, with a pair of road series, one at Minnesota Duluth and an ever-important weekend at home against a top 5 opponent. Every last game counts for the Sun Devils, who are about as much of a bubble team as bubble teams can get. Our Colgan Herschel has more on ASU's push for the postseason.
Arizona State is eyeing down the NCAA tournament, but has a long road ahead with 6 games left of NCHC play, followed by the conference tournament. NCAA hockey postseason works similarly to the current CFP, with 6 conference champions getting automatic buys and a committee that selects the remaining 10 teams for at-large bids. This is based off of the pairwise rankings, which ranks teams using a mathematical formula. ASU sits at 13th in these rankings and currently has a 54% chance to make the dance. If the season ended today, the Sun Devils would be the very last team in with an at-large bid, as 3 current conference leaders are behind them in the pairwise. But with conference tournaments yet to be played, the next 6 games could affect the rankings heavily. Every game that ASU plays will be its most important game of the season. One loss to number 40 Minnesota Duluth would put them out of an at-large bid. A single loss to number 5 Western Michigan isn't game over, but getting swept at home would take a big hit on their ranking. Ending the season at number 26 Omaha has similar stakes to Duluth, where one loss would drop them from at-large contention. Simply put, if ASU wins at least 4 of its last 6 games, its chances are high. Otherwise, the water gets very murky. If all else fails, the Sun Devils, now tied for second in the conference, would head into the postseason needing to pull out an NCHC title in order to secure an NCAA tournament berth. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Colgan Herschel.
ASU hockey has seen a wealth of success in its debut in the NCHC, and Greg Powers and his squad have won 14 of their last 17. So what's allowed the Sun Devils to see this early success? Well, having the second best power play in the country surely helps, and our Zach Nicolaitis breaks down what's made it so lethal.
Arizona State hockey's power play is red hot, ranking second overall in the country at 28.7%, only under the Denver Pioneers, the reigning national champs. To break it down, let's look back at last weekend's series against the Denver Pioneers. We're going to stop it right here on Anthony Dowd. He gets the puck off his stick immediately when he has pressure coming in this left side. Now take a look at Cullen Potter. He's attracted all 4 penalty killers to one side of the ice, able to get that pass all the way cross seam to Cruz Lucius, where he's anticipated to be in scoring position, and he buries that for a 1-0 ASU lead. Perfectly drawn up power play if you're the Sun Devils. Now looking into their previous series in Miami, Ohio, we're going to stop it right here at Lucas Sillinger. He gets this pass all the way across to Dylan Jackson while also attracting 3 penalty killers behind the play. That way, Jackson's able to get this right cross seam to a wide open Kyle Smolin for a bang, tap in. That's a perfectly drawn up passing play, perfectly drawn up power play. That's why it's second overall in the nation, and that's why they've been red hot.
Arizona State men's basketball took the trip to Lubbock, Texas on Wednesday to take on the number 12 Texas Tech Red Raiders in a matchup that didn't feature the services of Jaden Quaintance but was a down-to-the-wire battle regardless. And BJ Freeman, he's going to size up his defender, work his way into the lane, turn around Jay, hand in his grill, but it doesn't matter. That one's cash to start things off for the Sun Devils. And Austin Mason, he's going to find Amir Ali on that left wing. He's going to cash one in 4-3. He shot 4 or 5 from 3 in this contest with a bit of a larger role to the absence of Jaden Quaintance and Mason. He's going to find 3 as well, just for good measure. The senior guard really coming alive in this latter half of the season. He had 16 points against Texas Tech, and BJ Freeman going to look for a similar turnaround Jay once again. Well, that's a dump-off pass to Sean Phillips Jr. for the poster dunk. He tells his defender, you're a little bit too small, buddy. He cashes that one in for 2. You got to get a shot off here. Elijah Hawkins takes it the full length of the floor with the spin. No good, but put back up and in by Chance McMillan to save the day for Texas Tech and send this one to overtime. And BJ Freeman works his way into the lane once again. That's an air ball, but put back up and in by Phillips Jr., who filled the void for Quaintance and then some. And right here, we're going to see Christian Anderson with some feisty defense, get the deflection. He dives for that loose ball. Love the effort there and finds his man trailing, but that's blocked by BJ Freeman. And this time around in the first of 2 OTs, Freeman saves the day for Arizona State with that last-ditch effort. And now we're in 2 OT. Adam Miller works his way into the lane. That lob to Sean Phillips is deflected, but put back up and in by Miller. But this was the story of the night. That man right there, JT Toppin, had a vendetta against that rim. He had 41 points, the most among any Big 12 player this entire season. And Texas Tech gets the win over Arizona State, 111-106 in Red Raider country.
Have you ever asked a girl for her number and felt like you're so close, yet so far? Well, ASU men's hoops is in that same boat and has also failed to come out with the extra digits as of late. Bobby Hurley's squad is riding a 4-game losing streak, and they haven't won in Tempe since the 4th of January. They've danced with the best, but have continuously failed to find the perfect pairing. For more on ASU struggles, here's our matchmaker, Andres Armenta.
If today you weren't feeling in the Valentine spirit, don't worry, we've got you covered, and I promise you we won't bring up your ex. But what we will do is focus on ASU men's basketball, currently sitting right at 500 with a 12-12 record, following their heartbreaking double OT loss at Texas Tech this Wednesday. But let's focus on some bright spots. You know, the sweethearts, the lover boys, aka the freshman trio. The only thing better than a pure heart is a pure shooter.
You know, he's the best shooter I've ever coached, and he could do it in a number of different ways.
It was Sannon's non-conference breakthrough that propelled him into the hearts of every Sun Devil fan, and though he hasn't been the same since returning from injury, Josan's 17-point performance against OK State has fans reminiscing about non-con Sannon, just like you're reminiscing about your ex today. Jaden Quains is a freak athlete. The 5-star recruit does everything, and I mean everything, on both ends of the court. His ankle injury puts a halt to his on-court impact, but he's had his fair share of rejections so far this season. Finally, to round out the freshman, it's Amir Ali, whose impact has been felt in ASU's last 2 outings, with 2 double-digit scoring affairs. Now, I don't mean to dampen the mood, but things aren't all sunshine and rainbows for men's hoops. Kinda like how Justin can't secure a girl's number, the Sun Devils can't seem to figure out how to close out games. In 3 of their last 4 contests, all of them being losses, ASU was within 5 points of its opponents with under 3 to go. Poor shot selection and untimely fouls have been the Achilles heel for Arizona State, and it hasn't helped that its strength of schedule is 6th in the nation.
I don't think we're sending anybody a message right now.
When it comes to flirting with someone, it's good to have a set plan, not just going blindly and chuck up shots.
We got the superhero mentality sometimes.
At times, the Devs' half-court offense looks more awkward than a high school prom. Different players trying to get theirs disrupts ASU's offense when they need it most. From Cronkite Sports, your favorite lover boy, Andres Armenta.
Well, Andres, you heard my struggle, and I appreciate the effort, but unfortunately, I still can't find my perfect match. But it seems like Willie Bloomquist and company have found that match. They roped in a cast of new faces ahead of the 2025 season, revamping the roster and strengthening the bullpen in hopes of pushing the envelope and pushing that needle to make a push for the NCAA tournament. Our Dominic Pisella has more.
This Valentine's Day at Full Stadium, while Cupid may be shooting arrows, ASU pitchers will be throwing heat against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Starting for the Sun Devils on Friday will be ace Ben Jacobs. The Southpaw earned preseason All-American honors this year after a 7-3 record in 2024 with a 4.75 ERA. His 13.8 Ks per 9 ranked 2nd in the Pac-12. Jacobs is the number 7 Big 12 MLB draft prospect according to Baseball America. On Saturday, it's senior Louisiana Lafayette transfer Jack Martinez. 22 appearances last year, 4 of them starts, with a 4.40 ERA. Martinez boasts a fastball that tops out at 96, a major factor in a 50 strikeout season a year ago.
We're still making evaluations on who's going to be the Sunday guy, or leave that TBD for now and see how the first 2 games go, and then make a decision on Sunday. But we have a lot of good options on Sunday, and it might change.
With it up in the air on Sundays, who better to turn to than consistent vet Jonah Giblin? The third-year Sun Devil has tallied 84 strikeouts in his ASU tenure, with a 4.29 ERA last spring. Another option for Sunday could be junior Sean Fitzpatrick. A bullpen leader in 2024, Fitzpatrick totaled a team-high 27 appearances and held a 3-2 record. Sophomore Wyatt Halverson is another name to watch. The righty counted up 54 strikeouts over 37 innings last season. However, Halverson held a pitiful 7.82 ERA and a 1-4 record. Coach Willie Bloomquist will have to fall in love with one of these pitchers ahead of ASU's Sunday afternoon date with the Buckeyes in order to make a strong first impression on opening weekend. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Dominic Passaro.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, from one diamond to the other, Megan Bartlett and Sun Devil softball are in full swing as it's crossover season in Tempe. They're starting things in the Littlewood Classic against Oregon. Top of the third, Des Patman at bat, flies out to left field. Nahonda Lewis diving play to get the last out and end the inning. The score at this point, 1-0 Oregon. 2 runners in scoring position here. Tiare Ho-Ching, line drive, 2 RBI double, those gals being waved home. And then, of course, Ho-Ching gets back in scoring position over at second. It'll be Kelsey Hall with the sac fly. Ho-Ching is waved home just as aggressively as the first 2 gals were in this inning to make it a 3 spot in the third inning for ASU. Devils with a 3-1 lead as we head to the top of the fourth. Oregon 2 runners on. Kaylin Jones with the 2 RBI double after that Tanya Windle error out in center field. And just like that, we're right back deadlocked at 3. A low scoring matchup between these 2 opponents. Bottom of the 7th now, 2 outs, runner on third. Here's the Tanya Windle ground out to the pitcher. And just like that, we're headed to extra innings. Top of the 8th, 1 out. It's Maka Lupi on the mound. She played hero. 12 pitch at bat ends in a strikeout. She pitched a 4-inning no-hitter in relief. What a showing by her. And then bottom of the 8th, the ghost runner on second. Ho-Ching leadoff RBI single to score Windle in. And it's a walk-off win for the Sun Devils. Huge upset for Sun Devil softball. 4-3 against number 21 Oregon. Here's what Megan Bartlett had to say after the win.
We're not preparing that much differently. Certainly getting healthy has helped, and flexing, a little more, just kind of filling holes. I don't want to say we certainly had talent before, right? But yeah, to continue to get former Pac wins right now after just the rough, first couple years for a multitude of reasons, it's like you can just breathe a little bit, right?
So you guys are chilling too.
ASU, and baseball is just a few hours out from its first pitch at Phoenix Muni. We welcome in WCSN baseball reporter Aiden O'Neill and softball reporter Alexander Martinez to catch us up on some of the early season looks on the sports on the diamond. And Aiden, we'll start with you over at Phoenix Muni. ASU baseball beginning its season later this evening when they host the Ohio State Buckeyes. What can we expect to see from Willie Bloomquist's new look roster?
Yeah, Justin, to say the least, there's a lot of anticipation around the new season for the Arizona State Sun Devils, all beginning tonight. But the thing that is looming is Arizona State has missed the playoffs for 3 consecutive seasons under Willie Bloomquist. That drought is the longest since 1959 when the program started. But they get their offensive aircraft carriers back in the lineup. The likes of Jacob Tobias, Isaiah Jackson, Kian Vu, Brandon Thompson, all big-time run producers. But the big-time question is, what is the pitching going to do? Last year, that was the kryptonite for the Arizona State Sun Devils. Tonight, their ace MLB prospect, Ben Jacobs, he'll get the ball in a big-time game. Tomorrow will be Jack Martinez, and Sunday it's by committee. Willie doesn't know what he's going to do yet, but he's been echoing the depth around this roster is so firm, and he cannot wait to see what they have to offer in 25.
And Alex, Sun Devil softball off to a 4-1 start to the season. Just beat number 21 Oregon thanks to a walk-off from Tiare Ho-Ching. And they take on North Dakota and Weber State in a doubleheader tonight. What do the Sun Devils got to do today in this doubleheader to come out with the win?
Yeah, well, the Sun Devil bats need to stay hot. ASU is currently averaging 7.2 runs per game, whereas last year they were averaging just 4.6. Timely hitting with runners in scoring position, and the fact that ASU has 9 home runs already with multiple players with multiple home runs has helped immensely. ASU pitcher Kenzie Brown also has come back, which has been huge for the Sun Devils, with 11.2 innings pitched with 20 strikeouts and a .6 ERA. However, besides that, the rest of the pitching staff has been just okay and very inconsistent. However, last night against number 21 Oregon, Mika Lupe had a phenomenal game where she pitched 4 no-hit innings. If the Sun Devils can continue to have the hot bat and their pitching can be a little more consistent, ASU will not only have a chance to be great this weekend, but also the upcoming weeks. Guys.
Well, thank you both for your insights. Sun Devil baseball gearing up to start its season tonight, while softball looks to continue its winning ways. And head coach Megan Bartlett has fully embraced the youth movement with her squad. And our WCSN softball reporter Shea Maloney introduces you to the new kids on the block.
When Arizona State softball kicked off their season last week at the Kajikawa Classic, head coach Megan Bartlett submitted a lineup unlike any seen in recent program history. 4 true freshmen started the season opener for the first time since 2003, years before any of them were even born. And not only did they get the starting nod, they made an instant impact. Taking on Maryland, starting pitcher Cambry Krieger recorded her first collegiate win in the circle, and second baseman Tiari Hochin collected 4 RBI, 2 of which coming by way of her first Sun Devil home run. And now, after Bartlett's first 2 seasons at the helm were filled with struggle and roster turnover, the youth movement she's injected into this year's team is already paying off.
But certainly I think there's a special chemistry to this group, right? So much young kids, moxie, they fight, they're feisty. And then you have the veterans that just continue to kind of play at a really high level and show them the way. So they're pretty fun to coach.
And the fun would not stop after night 1, as freshmen continued to impress all throughout the Kajikawa Classic. Pitcher Julianne Tipton followed Krieger's opening night start with one of her own, marking the first time in 10 years that 2 different freshmen started ASU's first 2 games. In the batter's box, Tequila Davis, Grace Molitor, and Lillian Holche joined Ho-Ching in hitting their first home runs, with Holche's being a pinch hit go-ahead blast to help upset California to close the weekend. Now the question becomes if Bartlett's young Sun Devils can extend their first impressions through the entire year. If so, she could be looking at her first winning season in Tempe. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Shea Maloney.
6-43. That's the total conference record of ASU women's basketball in its 3 seasons under head coach Natasha Adair. Her Sun Devils started off Big 12 play 2-1, but have gone on to lose every game since. And over the course of Adair's regime, the inability to put together a full 40 minutes has plagued their success. Our Ethan Ignatowski has more on ASU's consistent inconsistency.
40 full minutes, put that pressure on for 40 plus minutes. We just have to do it consistently for 40 plus minutes. Put 40 full minutes together. It's 38 minutes. Last game was 37 minutes, and it's just, it has to be 40.
A full 40 minutes. It's something that Arizona State women's basketball head coach Natasha Adair has harped on ever since she arrived in the Valley 3 years ago. And ever since, her teams have failed to play a full 40, time and time again. The Sun Devils are 27-57 in the Adair era and are currently 8-17 on the year, 2-11 in Big 12 play, and have lost 10 straight games. With the Big 12 tournament right around the corner, Adair is still looking for her squad to put it all together. Recently, it has been lapses in judgment that have kept ASU from reaching its goal. In Tucson last Friday, the Sun Devils allowed 19 points off turnovers as they struggled against the Wildcats' full-court press. But bad passes and simply losing the handle on the ball led to their downfall. And this Wednesday, ASU handed UCF just its second conference win on the season, after they allowed 21 points off turnovers and gave the Knights 29 attempts from the free throw line. On the season, the Sun Devils have been outscored in the first quarter 477-402, putting them on the back foot early on, and forcing them to fight uphill with a streaky offense and a defense that has allowed more buckets than any of their Big 12 counterparts. Point being, ASU has not done itself any favors recently, beating itself for varying reasons and preventing it from putting together, as Coach Adair would put it, a full 40 minutes. The Sun Devils will need to figure it out quickly if they want a chance of snapping their losing streak as the season nears its end. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Ethan Ignatowski.
Herbie Bame and Sun Devils swim and dive are fresh off a big win against the rivals from down south, and with Big 12 championships less than 2 weeks away, here's our Riley Vargas with some of ASU's biggest strengths and its keys to success for the conference title.
Arizona State Swim and Dive wrapped up its regular season this weekend against Arizona and is now in full force to prepare for the Big 12 championships. The Sun Devil men are currently ranked number 4 in the country, and the women are ranked number 17. The men only suffered 1 loss this season to Texas, while the women have a final record of 8-6. The biggest strength for the Devils this year has been their relays. The Sun Devil women broke the school record in the 200-yard medley relay 4 times. The Sun Devil men have the fastest times in the nation in the 200-yard freestyle relay and the 400-yard medley relay. Graduate Carolyn Benz has been a huge asset to the Sun Devil women this season, setting 6 school records, leading the team in the sprint freestyle and backstroke events. Sophomore Ilya Karun has dominated in his signature butterfly events all year, and he is heading into the postseason with some of the nation's fastest times in the 200-yard and 100-yard butterfly. ASU's relays and efforts of Benz and Karun will be the key to the Sun Devils sweeping the Big 12 championships.
After an 8-12 loss to number 3 UCLA, the Arizona State water polo sits at number 11 in the nation. The Sun Devils have finished top 10 in 7 of their last 8 seasons, and with half of the season left to play, they'll have some time to get back to those historical standards. WCSN water polo reporter Casey Smith is out at Moda Plummer with the latest on Sun Devil water polo.
The Devils are scorching hot right now. Since 2018, ASU's only had 2 years where they've had a better record than their 9-3 tally up to this point in the season. The record is great, but ASU is still off from where they'd like to be. The biggest challenge Arizona State has faced this year is a loss of reigning MPSF Player of the Year, Lutza Patovari, who set the conference record for most goals in a season last year with 122. So far this year, the duo of freshman Itzar Almeida and junior Millie Quinn have attempted to fill the void, combining for 84 points. The pair of Devils have helped ASU to be on pace to average their most goals per game over the last 5 years. However, this is before the most grueling part of the season, an MPSF conference that showcases all 4 of the highest-ranked teams in the nation. ASU has only made the NCAA tournament 3 times, coinciding with the only years they've finished with at least 3 wins in conference. If the Sun Devils can manage to get even 3 conference wins, it'll go a long way for them keeping pace with history. However, before ASU gets into conference play, they'll have to focus on this weekend's cross-conference invitational. It's a favorable slate for ASU as they see 4 unranked teams made up of 3-5 Salem, 4-5 Long Island, 5-3 Cal State Fullerton, and 3-4 Iona. With a red-hot offense, ASU has scored double the season goal total of Iona, Salem, and CSU Fullerton, and 44 more than Long Island. It's been more than 7 years since the Devils have lost to an unranked team, so Arizona State looks primed for a successful tournament. They'll need to remain calm, cool, and collected to do so. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Casey Smith.
ASU Gymnastics has found its rhythm as of late and now has an opportunity to make a statement and earned its first ranked victory of the season as number 4 Utah comes to town on Friday night. Our Ella Walter Sanchez has more on the upcoming meet.
Coming off its first consecutive win of the season, Arizona State Gymnastics is set to face number 4 Utah Friday at 7 p.m. Currently, Arizona State is 6-4 on the season with a 195.740 average score, while Utah is 8-4 with a 197.271 average score. The Gym Devils won their last meet when they faced Texas Women's University, earning a season-high score of 196.6. They swept all event titles, and Emily White took the all-around with a 39.4. Jada Manghas had a dominant performance and scored season-best 9.875 on bars. She also won the vault title with a score of 9.850. Manghas' performance against the Pioneers earned her this week's Big 12 Specialist of the Week award, ASU's first conference award in gymnastics since joining the Big 12. The Red Rocks also won their last meet where they faced the University of Arizona and earned their second highest score on the season, a 197.675. In their meet against Arizona, the Red Rocks had several standout performances. Sophomore Ella Zerbes posted a career-high 9.95 on bars, which was also the team's highest individual score. Additionally, Grace McCallum was named the Big 12 Gymnast of the Week for her performance against the Wildcats with a 39.650 all-around score. This was her second time receiving the recognition this season. With both ASU and Utah consistently increasing their scores each meet, Friday is shaping up to be a captivating matchup. For Cronkite Sports, this is Ella Walter Sanchez.
ASU wrestling has yet to reach back to its glory days in the Pac-12, but despite some adversity, several upperclassmen who have retained that winning pedigree from years past could be in line to help push the program back to prominence. Our Caleb Harris takes you into the vault for more.
ASU wrestling is nearing the end of one of its worst seasons in the Zeke Jones era. The Sun Devils are 1-5 in conference play after winning 4 of the last 5 Pac-12 championships. Despite the losses, they have multiple talented upperclassmen that figure to make some noise come this postseason. Let's look back a few years and head into the vault to see what makes the Sun Devils so confident they can perform in the tournament. Senior heavyweight Colton Schultz is one of the most successful wrestlers in ASU history. Back in 2022, he used this overtime takedown to make the NCAA finals. That whole season, he used his unique Greco-Roman based style to excite fans. The following season, Emilio Isagiri showed up as a freshman. He started the year on the bench, but filled in for an injured Jesse Vasquez. In ASU's final duel of the year, Isagiri took on Nebraska's number 4 ranked Brock Hardy. Despite being unranked, he fought for a huge 9-4 upset. Last season, Richard Figueroa became ASU's first national champion since Zahid Valencia. This moment cemented Figueroa as a school legend. In order for the Sun Devils to turn their season around and compete like they have in the past, they need a change. These 3 upperclassmen need to draw on their past successes and find a way to win in March. They represent hope for a team that is drowning in a new, more difficult conference. Sun Devil Wrestling now sits at a crossroads between its former glory and trying to reclaim some of that success in the Big 12. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Caleb Harris.
Time now for some top plays. Sun Devils hit the hardwood in Stillwater. The initial attempt by Joe Sonsanen for the triple, and Amir Ali with the putback gets 2 points on the board for the Sun Devils. Let's see that one more time. Beautiful second effort by him.
And at number 4, we're going to take you back to the rink real quick. Bennett Shimmick working his way up the ice for the goal to close it out against the defending national champions in Denver. Arizona State closed the season series and gets a leg up on the defending champs.
In that upset win we saw from ASU softball, Des Patman at bat flies out, and left fielder Nahonda Lewis with the diving play to get the out and end the inning. What more could you ask for from your outfielder? We'll see it again. A great last-ditch effort by her to save that play.
And at number 2, we're going to take you back to Lubbock, Texas. Christian Anderson with the feisty defense gets the poke in the steal, dives for that loose ball, finds his man trailing in transition, but that's blocked by BJ Freeman to save the day for the Sun Devils. Listen, love is in the air today, but if you try an easy layup on BJ Freeman, it's probably getting sent right back, just like my last Valentine's Day text.
And our top play of this week, we'll head right back to the softball diamond. It's Ho Ching with an leadoff RBI single in extra innings to score Wendell, and it's a walk-off win for the Sun Devils against number 21 Oregon to kick off the Littlewood Classic. And hey, that'll do it for us here from Studio 6 on this Valentine's Day. Hey, Justin, you got any plans after this?
As I said before, neither of the Justins really doing much of anything. I got some Skittles in my pocket. Probably going to go back, eat these, reflect on some life choices.
Hey, I got some of those too, so I'm in that boat right there with you. But that's all we have for you from Studio 6 on this edition of Cronkite Sports Live. For Justin Lacertosa and our incredible crew behind the scenes, I'm Gabby Chernoff. Thank you so much for watching.